And I think sometimes, like, I think that that is an interesting analogy is like, oh, I got laid off, or something happened to me. It's like you almost go into like shock denial and disconnect from whatever that is. And somebody really does have to go back to the narrative, like this actually happened, not the story that you make up about it. This actually happened. Yes, their company merged. You don't need two CFOs. You got laid off. Does that mean that you suck and the company never cared about you? And like, no, it doesn't mean all of that, but you do have to grieve that loss because you have the position, the colleagues, all of the routines, the hopes you might have had for the company. Like that is something that is worth working through. There's the shock of the whole thing. And I think sometimes people sub-optimize their potential. Like sometimes I wonder when I deal with people and their imposter syndrome, when it comes to their business, it's like, is it because you have unprocessed shame over what got you to this point?
Mm.
That it's okay that you burn out and that's why you left corporate. That's what just got you here. That's what the universe used as a catalyst for you. You had a very dramatic one, but that is, that's not the you had a very dramatic one, I would have to say. Like my heart breaks when I hear you talk about it. But the principles are still the same. The universe is going to guide us to whatever that is, but we kind of have to work through like what happened so that
Yeah.
we don't let it keep us stuck. I think that's why a lot of people don't say yes at the crossroads is all of that unprocessed emotion and shame that they're even there.
Yeah. No, so well said. And then my question would be like, where's that come from? Right. And it's a rhetorical question for us right now, but helping the individual explore where is that is the, even before getting to acceptance, where's that fear, shame, whatever word to describe the feeling they're having come from? Is it external forces? Is it, you no longer your kid going off to college can brag about my dad's the CFO of a Fortune 100 company, my mom's the chief marketing officer, whatever the case might be, right?
Hmm.
Where it maybe it's external, but maybe it's internal, right? You had certain expectations on that first mountain for yourself or your income, your title, the type of organization you work for, how you want to make an impact on the world as you're journeying through it. So where is that feeling coming from before you can accept the feeling to then move forward with, okay, what's next?
And I think that there's global myths that we all believe. Like I think what happens a lot of times when high achievers hit the pinnacle of the first mountain is everybody's telling them, this, you've achieved it all. You have it all. You have hit the pinnacle. You've got it. This is what everybody wants. And then you're feeling existentially on the inside, it's like, is this it? Like
Mhm.
this can't possibly be it. But then you feel guilty because everybody else is telling you. When I left Disney, everybody thought I was crazy. Like I did, I was working on that basics project. It was about to go global. I had a lot of and it was a high profile project. And I left. Like I hit my existential crisis when my dad died and similar, not as dramatic, but there was like that still like that death, like, I'm not going to live forever thing. Everyone thought I was crazy. I only had one person tell me that that was a good move.
Mhm.
One person, he was older, he took me to the side and I'm like, I don't want to miss out on being there for my kids. Like, I don't want to miss out. And he's
Mhm.
like, you'll never regret it. Everyone's like, I don't know what you're doing here, you know, but it was the right decision. But I think I think what a lot of times we deal with in terms of like, where's this coming from? Is that
Mhm.
there's that myth. And then there's another myth that I can't possibly make money doing what I love. My work has to be over here, my passion's over here, the twain shall never meet. And I don't think that's accurate either.
Mhm. Yeah, it's the right, the soar with your strengths of right. The parable at the beginning of that book is around let the rabbit run, right? And so how do you help the individual identify the rabbit's really good at running and the tortoise is really good at swimming? How do you identify your version of running or swimming and ideal? And there's I think there's some pushback of like they say like don't have your hobby ever become your job because then you might lose your interest in it. So there's trade-offs to having a hobby or something you love or even a passion become something that sustains the income that you need to pay the bills. But it's a balancing act, and that's where I truly believe and go back to like each person has to figure it out for themselves. There's so much external pressure. Social media doesn't necessarily help the situation. And there's titles that come with it, right, wrong, or indifferent, perceived glory. And there's certain income thresholds. And so putting all that aside, an individual doing self-reflection of what matters to them. And it's different for everyone. And I'm not negating that, like, right, I think of individuals I know who the level of responsibility and impact they can make as a CEO or as a COO of a very large organization, that's really what matters to them. And helping them reflect on how they can achieve to get to that level, that's awesome. Just as important as an individual who wants to take total strangers on a hike in the woods, and that's fulfilling to them.